I mean, the soccer's just a great game. I used to joke that's the only one that I was good at.
Not likely. Years after his playing days, Peoria Christian coach Cory Hynek is still great for the sport, a true advocate and ambassador.
The more you get into it, the tactics, it's really a thinking man's game, just breaking things down. But also, the kids are engaged when they're playing. Like, you know, when you're playing a game for 80 minutes and you're on the field, you're moving around. So it's great exercise. But the more you get into it, just the competitiveness and then being on a team.
16 years ago, Hynek left the corporate world and went header first into coaching soccer at PCS. Also the athletic director, Hynek has a couple of trips to state in the book. But the story of his book, the beauty of combining the gospel with sport.
I think I used to be a soccer player that was a Christian and not a Christian soccer player. And FCA has been great to help realize that with Cole Espen-Sheed. In the past, just working with him and realizing you can really use soccer for the gospel, and just the way we compete. We compete with teams, we don't compete against them. And I always tell our guys, you know, playing for something greater than yourself, and our theme verse for the program for the 16 years I've been here is based off Colossians 3:23. It's just for the Lord. You know, whatever you do, work out with all your heart, working for the Lord, not for man.
The coach is to that point now, that point in his life, that sweetness. Former players remember and give back.
What's really fun for me too, you know, with the family component and the players is all my assistants. I have 4 assistant coaches this year, and all of them played at PCS when I was here. Makes me feel a little bit old because one of them's son's a freshman now. But it's great to have that sense of community, and I think at Peoria Christian, that's the one great thing. Christ brings us all together.
Now in his 16th year as head coach at Peoria Christian, the coach is well grounded in the Peoria soccer community. But he also is well traveled, having taken Peoria Christian on 7 international trips to 4 different countries.
And it started with a trip to England. Part of the reason is big soccer. You know, obviously the Premier League, it's very visible, but also the history there. And you don't realize it till you're walking around and the kids are like, wait a second, like this was here before we were even a country. Yes, it was.
Those juices still flow on game nights. The beauty of the game, the higher purpose not shown on a scoreboard.
There's nothing better than game nights. For me, I just love it. Just bring the guys together, watching them, just get ready and take that moment. Before every game, I give them a scripture or a quote, and we kind of talk about that, kind of bringing things back to who we are and who we want to be when we play. And then just going out there and competing, and we like one of the best things we hear yelled is, "I thought you were a Christian." Yes, and that's why we're competing so hard, because Christ competed so hard for us.
Cory Hynek, the influence of a coach, high impact that endures eternally. With the FCA Story of the Week, I'm Dan Pearson.